Hello everybody, we are here with our Grim Reaver 3.7 patch notes review. Not all of the crazy things that have been discussed if you've been paying attention on Twitter and Reddit. There's a lot of crazy things being talked about, such as jungle revamps, maybe Ratataskar revamp, a lot of big picture things, a lot of god changes, a lot of item changes. This is the, tinier patch before the big patch. 3.8 going to be the extremely large patch, but still some fairly significant things in this patch, including a remodel for ARACHNE. Now, I was under the impression that this was going to be a rework, and that was incorrect. This is a remodel, so new card art, her skins are redone, her masteries are redone. Basically, the bottom half of her is still the exact same, and they made the human half on top look more realistic and more detailed. Overall, still looks relatively the same. Overall, animations still look relatively the same. Everything a little bit more defined. This is the new ARACHNE skin, though, coming out as part of the Underworld arena stuff you guys have seen going on, all of that. So that's her version of this skin. This skin is actually sick and has some great effects in-game. But the generic ARACHNE stuff still very normal, nothing too crazy. Moving on to another amazing skin along with this ARACHNE skin, so we looked at that for a second. But this is Hui's new Underworld skin coming out, and it's basically a cyborg cowboy, and it's absolutely sick, and the effects are sick, and everything looks cool. And this is one of the better skins coming out with this package, outside of, the Hades skin that came out earlier, which is like the best skin ever. And then, of course, that ARACHNE skin, which has a great card and actually looks great in-game as well. Grim Shadow Nox, this is one of the final things. As you notice, there's a lot of emphasis on, the eye is, look at it. It's very it's large and glowing, almost like pulsating towards you to look at it. And I'm just gonna look at her eyes, and oh, look at, she's telling me to touch something, and I just, anyway. So, moving onward, we have a tier 2 Chang'e skin. It's fine. Let's be real. If you have the Attack the Fire Giant skin, you're never going to use this skin. But, nonetheless, cool tier 2 Chang'e skin. Finishing up, my favorite skin, actually, in this patch is a tier 2 Hercules skin, where he basically looks like Janus if Janus became a big, buff badass. The card is sweet. He looks great in-game. Everything, because it's just a tier 2, everything else is the same, but damn, he looks sick, man. If this guy walked up to you on the street, you would just pray to whatever god or goddesses you believe in, and you would say, Lord, please let this be quick, for I do not wish to perish over a long period of time. That would suck. That guy's a badass. Shout out to Hercules. Play him every game. Amaterasu getting her masteries. Really pretty artwork, actually, on this skin. But if you play Amaterasu, you're the worst, because Amaterasu destroys middles. So, sad panda. But, moving on. The most BM thing to ever be put into Smite is this. This is a global emote. So you get this as part of the Underworld event. How right now you have your GG firework, which everybody thought was BM, right? People are like, oh my god, a GG firework, that's BM. Nah, man. You launch this in a big as tombstone comes up and just says rip right after you kill somebody. Like, I seen some BM, and that is next level, all up in your face BM. I probably won't ever use it, but I imagine I'm going to be seeing it a lot. Not saying I die a lot, I'm just saying maybe. As well as the new escape icon, which is kind of scary, actually. He has no nose. Oh, it's nosy. You can use mine. No, you cannot like my nose. I like my nose. Alright, new ward skin, Green Gaze Ward. This, you can't tell because we can't look at it in-game, but this ward skin's actually sick. It looks like a little, I don't even know, like a little, bot, like a little robot, or almost like a beholder robot, like just the eye portion. Like, I don't know, it's really cool, though. As far as wards go, like, most people are like, oh, ward skin's great, and 400 gems. But it's actually a sick skin as far as, ward skins go. No! Okay. Miscellaneous. Actually a great change. Check this out, y'all. Check this out. Players will now receive a notification when someone they have reported had action taken against their account. And there's fireworks, and everybody raised up their hands in the air, air. Oh, hot damn, that is my jam. Seriously though, that's sick. So now, when that guy goes in your team, and he's calling people all of these slurs, and he's feeding his brains out, and he says, mid or feed, and then he goes Artemis solo, and he runs into the tier 1 tower at level 1. You can report that guy, and after he gets banned for being a fool, it'll send you a little notification, and it'll say, action has been taken against blank's account. Awesome. So you will know if something has happened, and now you can know if something doesn't happen. You'd be like, that guy never had any action taken against him, but he's the worst. So that's sweet. Also, the Enigma chest will no longer award boosters unless the player owns everything in the chest. Also important to you guys as well. Apparently that was a thing. I don't know why that's a thing. That's bullcrap. Moving on. Achievements. Oh my god. Kill somebody with water illusion. It's impossible to not... A better achievement would be, don't kill somebody with your water illusion all game. Impossible. One shot. Outgoing OP. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Mail of Renewal seeing a fix, which is also a buff. Fixed an issue where the passive would not proc when destroying a tower. So, for those that don't know, Mail of Renewal procs on enemy kills, assists, right, if you're nearby, and objective kills and assists. But it didn't work on towers, ever. And everybody just kind of went along the days and was like, it's just never going to work. It's just one of those things where it just was never going to work. They finally fixed it. I don't know how it took this long to do this. I think at some point they said, Mail of Renewal is broken. We can't fix it right now because it's already too broken. We got to nerf it before we can fix it. Big gameplay changes. Not big gameplay changes, but definitely could see this item being picked up a little bit more. Because if you're sieging a tower and you're getting now 15% of your health and mana back, that's huge for sieging. Huge. Throwing Dagger is seeing a nerf, but not the nerf anybody wanted to see. The only person I've seen happy about this change is Zap. Zap, obviously, an incredible ADC, and he knows what he's doing, but all the other ADCs seem to disagree. So maybe Zap's on his own on this one. Increase the cost by 50 gold, so you only can get 3 potions instead of 4, and they reduce the physical power from 22 to 15, so it's in line with other starter items. So, what's the situation? It still gives you the best clear in the game. If you don't get it and the other hunter does, they're going to out-clear you no matter who they're on, right? The other situation is it still has the 10% crit. So even if you don't get the throwing dagger, you still cannot take. You cannot take a fight early because if you RNG get crit, you lose the fight. If you RNG get crit twice, you die. Which you'd be like, but the odds are so low. I RNG crit an Arachne today twice in a row at level 2 and killed him instantly because RNG. But not personally a fan of this change, but I don't play Hunters unless I have to play Hunters maybe because Hunters are so broken. But at least they understand that it's definitely not in a place right this moment. So it's a good start. Chiron Herbal Medicine updated his passive icon. Literally was unplayable. Literally. Jing Wei. So here's the deal. I want you to think right now with me. Think with me. Think about Jing Wei. Now, for those of you that play Arena and Assault and Siege, I want you to stop thinking. Stop thinking. This is not for you. I love you. This is not for you. For those of you that play Casual Conquest and Rank Conquest, I want you to be thinking. Okay? I want you to think about Jing Wei, and I want you to think about where she was. Competitively, casually, etc. Okay? So, as far as a god goes, in the solo lane, she was pretty good. And as an ADC, she was pretty good. Now, the big thing about it was you could just keep getting back to lane and you would never die. Because you would just reset. You didn't have potions. You could just fly back every single time. Okay? She wasn't great. She wasn't the greatest. But she certainly wasn't bad. Now, Hi-Rez, it seems, was under the impression that she was very bad. Very bad. So, let's just get into it. General, base physical power increase from 2.5 to 2.7. Fix an issue where her passive would not activate when leaving the fountain in Assault. Excuse me, for those of you that play Assault, this is for you. I apologize. Increase the attack speed buff from 25% to 20 to 40% per rank, and increase the duration to 7 seconds, right? So, that skill's better. by a lot, and the duration's increased by quite a bit, okay? Now that's a good change, right? Maybe that'll put her closer to the right spot, but we ain't done. Explosive bolts. Fix an issue with this ability providing ammo without going on cooldown. That's a good fix. That seems ridiculous. Now, agility. Using agility from the ground will still give you Fatalis for 3 seconds. But if you use it from the air, you get it for 6 seconds now instead of 5 seconds. With your 40% speed buff for 70 seconds. Also, increase the damage on her ultimate by 20 at each rank. Well, even more than that. It's 20 and then it's like 30 and then continue on. And the landing range is increased to 55. That's a lot of changes to Jing Wei. Now, I'm not saying this is going to make her the best god in the game, but I'm saying she went from, like, fun and playable to, like, do we have to pick her and, like, do stuff with her all the time now? So expect your casual games to be flooded with fairies flying around and pop, 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 just aerial gunning you. So we'll see how it goes, but I think this might be a bit excessive all at once. Individually, I like all these changes and what they're looking at. All at once, I think she might get toned back down. Nox seeing actually huge buffs. Huge buffs. Cooldown reduction on her 2 from 15 to 13 seconds. That is her big circle, for those that don't know, which is the silence and does the majority of her damage, has 100% scaling. I understand that change. Now this change, I don't understand. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I do not understand. Shadow Step, which is Nox's 3, right? Which is her getaway skill / dash through somebody and do damage and then pop out of your friend to do more damage, right? Increase scaling from 40 to 90%. So her Siphon Darkness has 100% scaling and Shadow Step has 90% scaling. So if you go inside your Thor, he ulties and brings you somewhere and then you pop out, you're doing all your magical power. I mean, you're doing like late game 800 damage with this ability if you only hit them once, and you can hit them twice, because you could go through somebody into a friend and then pop it again. Potential for like 1600 plus damage, not including like Soul Reaver. So that could be a problem. And then let's buff her ultimate, because why not? Damage reduction increased from 30 to 40, and her scaling increased from 60 to 75. Now, Nox needed buffs, so I'm down with that. It doesn't change how she plays, so I'm down with that. It increases aggressiveness with Nox with her 3, so that's okay. But this could lean Nox into the meta, even without the cooldown, just because of how long Beads is. She's always kind of been skirting around because of the the changed active this season, but this could finally push her over. I like Nox. I'm in, dude. So I'm in. Apois seeing a huge buff. Huge buff. So first of all, Undead Surge now gets 2 corpses at rank 3 instead of rank 4. Now, for those that don't play Apois, know the significance. His second ability, Corpse Explosion, does its damage based on how many corpses you explode. And so being able to get an extra corpse earlier is great, especially because you want to be leveling up Corpse Explosion and not Undead Surge anyway. You used to be able to get 4 points in Undead Surge and then you switch over. Now you only have to get 3 in it and then you can switch over. Big gameplay implications. Bigger gameplay implications to be the counter of healers to end all counter of healers. This is a mouthful. Decreased duration from 5 seconds to 4 seconds of fleeting breath, okay? So there's a little nerf. Less time, less damage. But they increase the damage from 25 to 37, from 30 to 50, okay? So overall, damage-wise, it's fairly similar, okay? Fairly similar. Increase the magical power scaling from 15 to 20. Okay, 5%, that's fine. The ability no longer scales off of number of times healed. So for those that didn't play Apois, you'd throw out your 3, which is a little lob zombie. Spawns a zombie where it lands. And if it landed on somebody with heals, it would do additional damage in a stun duration depending on how many times they healed. So if you're a Afro and you're ticking your heals like tick, 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 it would count up all those ticks. But if you were a Guan Yu and you just healed 1 time flat, it only counted as 1 tick. So instead they said, screw that. It's punishing the wrong people. What we're going to do is, if you heal, period, it ticks, okay? So now the additional damage, instead of going from 20 to 60 plus 60, or plus 10%, It's 50 to 250 plus 50% flat. So this skill does, okay, max rank 200 plus 20% scaling. Let's assume you have 600 magical power legging. So that's like what? Plus 150. So you're doing 350 there plus 250. So you have 600 plus 300. 900 damage plus a 1.5 second stun potentially at the later portion of the game. That is absurd. Could this bring back Alpoish? Not every game, but 100%. If you see a healer on the enemy team, yo, Alpoish about to rock your socks off, dude. Hebo seeing a little bit of a buff. Increase the slow debuff from 20 to 40 to 30 to 50. And also the speed buff. Help Hebo get away easier. Help him not get ganked as much. I like the change. I like where it's going, but he's still going to have a very difficult time in the laning phase because he just gets poked out so hard. But could it be situational? Quite possibly if somebody went a passive mid-jungle. And that's the end of the patch notes, guys. Some pretty significant stuff, but just not a lot of stuff. Just a littler patch, like I said. The bigger patch is going to be 3.8, guys. Let me know what you think is going to be happening with these gameplay implications down in the description, guys. And thank you, everybody who subscribes. And don't forget to like this video as well. And as always, have a twitching day, y'all.